Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm your host, Todd Blackstock. On today's show, we have in studio Solomon Alexander from the St. Louis Sports Commission, who will preview an upcoming event that involves the preservation of one of our city's great legacies. Plus, we have part two of our series with the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame as we catch up with former Major League Baseball pitchers Mark Buehrle and Danny Cox, who were recently enshrined at the class of 2022. So we have this and much more coming up next on Inside Sports. And welcome to the show. Our studio guest today is a director of the St. Louis Sports Commission's Sports Foundation. He manages the programming, events, and grant-based funding for the organization. And prior to that, he spent 10 years as a teacher and coach with Lift for Life Academy in St. Louis. At this time, we welcome Solomon Alexander to Inside Sports. Solomon, thank you so much for carving out some time during your busy schedule to join us.
Todd, thank you so much for that enthusiastic and wonderful welcome. I mean, I almost thought it was a big deal right there.
I know it takes a lot to get you excited. You're one of those real level-headed guys. And, coming out of this, talking about Lift for Life,
yes.
I can imagine the 10 years you spent there, with mostly, I would say, inner city kids and, people on the streets. That's an opportunity for them to come in and learn education and get coaching and mentoring skills. And I remember, 10, 15 years ago, going out there and covering Lift for Life, and you were the instructor. And one thing that really caught my eye was how you had food there for the kids as well. I mean, you not only taught math and, coached and did the weightlifting, but that was really important to have the food there, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I go back with Lift for Life 30 years, actually. I started there as a kid when I was 15. And the thing about having, the food program, the weightlifting program, even the school, was based on meeting the needs of the kids. We noticed that when we started weightlifting, that we wanted our kids to write thank you notes to people who had contributed. And we noticed that there were some writing issues. So that gave us the idea for the school. And then out of the school idea and then the weightlifting, we noticed that kids would come to practice hungry. And not just needing a snack, but not having had a full meal all day. And so we'd give them a snack, and then we'd make dinner there as well. And so all of that came out of meeting the needs of the kids. And that's where I first learned that to do anything good, you have to first meet the needs of the people you serve.
That was probably a great thing for the kids, too, because some of them come from, lower income families,
yes.
Families on welfare. And let's face it, if you're on, living, on the streets or nearby, Lift for Life was a great place to go, just to have an escape, a place to learn and learn, from people like you.
Lift for Life was always open. As a kid, that was the thing that I could hang my hat on, was that even when I went there as a kid and even serving kids as an adult, we wanted Lift for Life to always be open. We always wanted it to be that home away from home. And so when everything else in the world was going crazy, you could always come here. I could always go there. And they're still doing that great work to this day.
That must have been a great transition for you, for being at Lift for Life. And then the St. Louis Sports Commission, they found, I wouldn't say a diamond in the rough, but they found somebody that's in the trenches down there working with the kids. And, then all of a sudden you come on board with the St. Louis Sports Commission as the director of the Sports Foundation.
Yes.
So what a cool transition that was. And, kudos to Frank Viverito and the group over there, for finding you.
Yes, that opportunity came as really an awesome thing. And I have to give credit to Frank. I have to give credit to my wife, Madeline, as well, because it was one of those things where she actually applied for a position with the Sports Commission years ago. It wasn't a fit, but Frank told her that they may have something else coming along down the line. Well, people tell you that a lot, but they don't call you back. Frank called her back, and it was about the position with the Sports Foundation, and she read like, kids, young people, kids, and she said, no, that's more geared toward my husband. And so, she turned things over to me. I talked to Frank, and here I am.
Was that a position that they created for you or something that you filled?
It was something I filled. The Sports Foundation has been around since 1994. It was born out of the Olympic Festival that was held here back then. Some of the proceeds from that, the organizers wanted to leave a legacy piece here in St. Louis, and so they created the St. Louis Sports Foundation. There were a couple of directors before me, but yeah, the foundation was already established when I arrived.
Now, we know when you took the role with the foundation, what were some of your first original assignments? And, I guess you got a chance to put your own stamp and your own vision towards it. Are there any programs that, that you created, or are you pretty much maintaining the ship?
Probably the biggest thing that we've been able to push forward in my entire time, well, actually two things. One is a program called Musial Moments, where we go to schools and youth organizations telling kids about the life of Stan Musial, and also encouraging them to be better people in their schools, communities, on their teams. And that's been really, really successful. The other one is our Sportsmanship Scholarship, which we award about $25,000 worth of scholarships to St. Louis area seniors who've shown outstanding sportsmanship on the field of play. Those are the two programs that I'm most proud of during my entire tenure, and of course the one that we're going to talk about today, Olympic Day.
Yeah, before we're going to get into that, but before that, I did want to mention, the Musial Awards.
Yes.
Year in and year out, I see you there on stage, bringing people out, and some of the guests and back and forth, and it's such a well-organized event. How much time do you guys spend getting that together? It seems like it would probably be a year-long effort.
Oh, it is. We start planning the next Musial Awards basically the day after the one we just finished. It takes an entire year to find the stories, to sort of locate our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, as well as our Extraordinary Character Award winner, to get all of the pieces in place to not only have an extraordinary show, but an extraordinary show of sportsmanship.
So what is the mission of the St. Louis Sports Foundation?
The mission of the St. Louis Sports Foundation is to create positive environments for kids to play sports so they remain active and lead healthier, happier lives.
Now we've got the annual Olympic Day celebration coming up in St. Louis, and let's precipice it, because we're going to talk a little bit about it now, and then we're going to finalize it in our next segment. But set the groundwork, because that's when you came in, that was a big part of the reason they brought you in, is this Olympic Festival, and it's a great way to preserve the history of St. Louis.
Olympic Day, absolutely. Olympic Day is a celebration of the Olympic movement in St. Louis. It is a worldwide celebration, actually, and every city that has hosted a Games is encouraged to participate. For our part in St. Louis, we've partnered with Washington University, and that's where the 1904 Games were held here in St. Louis. And they've renamed their field Francis Olympic Field. And what we do is that we bring in kids from all over the area. Our goal is to get 1,904 kids on the field at Washington University. We'll see whether or not we make it, but that's the goal. And the goal, and after that, is to get them to be inspired by Olympians and Paralympians that we have on the scene that day, headlined, of course, by St. Louis's own Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
How cool is that the kids, in the St. Louis area, and the people from around the region that come out, they get to hang out with, walk with, run with, participate with, one of the all-time great, athletes and gold medalists in the history of the Olympics.
Whenever I see Jackie, I turn 12 again, because the first time I saw her compete, I think it was in Seoul in '88, and I was 12 years old, and I saw her on TV. And, I heard, she was from here, and, she was one of us. And you meet a lot of, I don't say I've met a lot of, but I've met several famous people. And when you meet your heroes, sometimes you can be disappointed, sometimes they can exceed them. Jackie exceeded every expectation that I've ever had. To be as beloved as she is worldwide, she returns my text. And that is so cool to have like Jackie Joyner-Kersee return my text. Like with all the people that, want her attention all day, she has time to talk to me. So that's the coolest thing ever.
It's kind of like she's never met a stranger.
Exactly.
So Olympic Day promotes fitness, and that's something we really need. Fitness is so important because people like to sit around and play games and eat chips and drink soda.
They do.
But fitness is really key, to health.
The Olympic Day ideals are move, learn, and discover. We want kids to discover the Olympic tradition here in St. Louis, to learn about 1904, the first games to have a gold, silver, and bronze medal. We want them to know the history. We want them to learn about Jackie and other Olympians, and we also want them to move, and that's where the 1 mile fun run walk comes in. We have some kids that like to run, they want to race, that's fine. We have moms that push strollers, they just want to walk and get some exercise in. Others want to, run a little bit, jog a little bit, that's fine. As long as they complete the course and they do it safely, we're totally fine with it, and it gets everybody moving, and that's really the main thing.
What about the term well-being? Why is that so important? I guess well-being means you got it together.
Well-being is really that's really something that's come to the forefront over even like the last 2 years, where we've all had to, at some point, look inward and say, okay, my physical health, my family's health, the health of myself professionally, is my total well-being in place? And that's a big thing. My mental well-being, am I taking care of myself holistically?
Excellent.
That's a big thing for us here.
We'll hold that thought because
Yes.
we're going to take a quick break now, but stay with us as our conversation with Solomon Alexander continues. And later we'll catch up with former Major League Baseball pitchers Mark Buehrle, who is a 5-time All-Star, a world champion, pitched both a perfect game and a no-hitter. And we also spoke with former Cardinals thoroughbred Danny Cox, who is part of the great Whitey Herzog championship team of 1980. We'll be right back.
My daughter with her reading.
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
And welcome back to Inside Sports. I'm Todd Blackstock. And we are with Solomon Alexander, who's getting prepared for Olympic Day at Francis Field at Washington University, home of the 1904 Olympics. And Solomon, we're home of the 1904 Olympics, but 1904 was also the World's Fair.
It was. It was a great year here in St. Louis.
I know you weren't there, but
I wasn't there, but I heard about it. And the thing about 1904 and our connection to it now, even in 2022, is that St. Louisans should take pride in our history and in our legacy. We have made a stamp on this world, and we should continue to celebrate that.
Speaking of that, you have the whole world here in St. Louis for the 1904 World's Fair and the Olympics. So you've got a diverse culture.
Yes.
You've got the whole world here, so that's everybody.
It is.
From all countries. And why do you think it's so important to promote the diversity of the culture of the world? Or why can't people just go do their own thing?
Well, the thing about it is that knowing where you came from and celebrating where you came from and what your community or region has done lets everyone know that you have helped contribute to sort of the world environment, and that you have done something spectacular. Even us here in St. Louis, so often we hear about what we can't do, how we're too small, how we're too this, how we're in the Midwest. But we have contributed mightily to the world, and the 1904 Games is proof of that.
Let's talk about some of the importance of the Olympic values. Olympians, they strive for excellence. I mean, that's something you need, isn't it? I mean, to try to be the best or at least maximize your ability.
Absolutely. We all have gifts. Some of them are athletically and some of them aren't, but you should always try to maximize the gifts that you're given. And through Olympic Day, that's what we try to encourage kids to do. You might be the next Jackie or you might be the next engineer, but we want you to be your best.
Olympians build friendships with their teammates as well as rivalries. I talked to Olympic people on this show that have been in the Olympics, and they're like great friends with the Russian athletes.
Yes.
Even though Vladimir Putin is, doing awful things, the people are people.
Yes. Your rivals are not your enemies. They're the people that you compete with and compete against for medals, for trophies, for titles. But they are also the people who most know what you're going through. The Russian track athlete knows what Jackie had to do to prepare for these Olympics. So she knows that person, and they understand her. Absolutely.
Learning respect is key to personal growth.
Respect is really key to everything. It means that I see your humanity and that I also know its value. And that works in sports and throughout life.
So this event is from 10 to 11:30 a.m.
Yes.
June 23rd.
Yes.
So who can participate?
Everyone can participate. We are looking for young people who are participating in summer camps. We are looking for families who want to come out and participate. They register online. It is completely free. Come on out, and hopefully we'll be wrapped up before the heat of the day hits.
How can you register?
You can register at stlsports.org/Olympic Day, and the registration form and all the pertinent information is right there.
So are there any age requirements, or if you're a certain age or under, would you get maybe a little consolation prize for coming?
I think that, all ages are welcome, and with like the little ones, I mean, obviously if they'll come with their parents, they'll be welcome as well. No one will be turned away, and there are some prizes involved.
Yeah, I heard if you're 16 and under, you get like a T-shirt or
Yes,
or
yes. All young people aged 16 and under will get an Olympic Day T-shirt. We will have plenty in all sizes.
What about Jackie Joyner Kersey's her involvement with the Q&A, questions and answer period?
Yes.
So people, they can walk around the track with her, but she's also going to hold a little forum to talk. You can ask her questions.
Yes. She's going to hold our Q&A session from about 10 to 10:30, and then we're going to do the 1 mile fun run walk after that from 10:30 until it's over. We have it scheduled till 11:30, but it usually wraps up about 10 after 11:15.
Are you looking for volunteers? How important are they?
Volunteers make every nonprofit organization go, and we are always looking for volunteers, and you can find volunteer information at sportsmanship.org.
And before we let you go, what about the corporate sponsors? I know they're very important. Is there a sponsor for this, or is it just the Sports Foundation? Because the sponsors, they really they help it make it roll.
Well, usually yes, but due to USOPC rules, we don't have any corporate sponsors for this one. This is run entirely through the St. Louis Sports Foundation.
Well, congratulations on your great success coming from Lift for Life and then, carving your way out here with the Sports Foundation and the St. Louis Sports Commission. Great job. Right. Good luck and, continued excellence.
Thank you, Saad, very much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Can't wait for that event. Thanks again, Solomon. I mean, we can't wait to see Jackie Joyner inspire everyone at Wash U. But now we're going to head over to the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony at the Luna Event Center in Sunset Hills, where we caught up with 2022 inductees Mark Buehrle and Danny Cox. And joining us now is Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Mark Buehrle from St. Charles County. Mark, you're here tonight. You never played for the Cardinals, but you're back here tonight being inducted into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would have loved to come back in St. Louis and play for the Cardinals, hometown. Obviously grew up watching them, but unfortunately it didn't happen. It was when Pujols was a free agent, and they were trying to figure out his contract, and the Cardinals had a bunch of starters on their contract, so it didn't work out. But it's nice to be back. I mean, I live and born and raised here, and we're still here, so it's nice to be back, and this is a awesome event.
Yeah, we're practically neighbors, Mark. But Burley, over 200 wins, a perfect game, a no-hitter, and a World Series. That's like a trifecta plus one. It must have been a pretty special career.
It was. Everybody gets lucky. I mean, I had a bet with a teammate of mine, John Garland, and we said whoever throws a no-hitter, I can't remember what money was or painting or something, but we said whoever throws a no-hitter first has to buy the other person this. And I said, well, I'm losing this bet because I'm never going to throw one. So I've learned over my course of my career to never say never, because there's a lot of things that I did throughout my career that I never thought would happen. So, but yeah, just fortunate to have health and go out there, and I had fun doing it, and it was a blast.
It's pretty amazing. You went to Francis Howell North, then you end up in Jeffco, just south of South St. Louis there, and then on your way to the major leagues. Was it a grind? Tell us about, the ascension, from high school to Jeffco, and then all of a sudden, you're in the big leagues.
I can't really say a grind because I was fortunate. Obviously, after I got drafted, I only spent about a year and a half in the minor leagues. Some of these guys spend 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years before they even get called up to the big league. So I was just fortunate, like I said, had health, pitched good young in my career when I was younger, and had a good career early. And then once I got called up, I took advantage of it, and I had pitched well enough to stay there. But yeah, I mean, just got to go out there and keep trying and do what you can do to get guys out and try to make it to the big leagues.
Before we let you go, it's hunting and fishing season right now. I'm sure you've got your sights set on some fun time out in the country.
Oh yeah, I actually just got back yesterday from fishing at my farm up north, and been out turkey hunting a few times with my son for youth season, and I've been out a few times myself. So yeah, anytime if it's not planting season, putting food plots in or getting something ready for duck season or whatever, it's getting a gun or the fishing pole and going out and hunting a little stuff.
Mark Burley, 2022 St. Louis Sports Hall of Famer. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Action. And going into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame 2022, Danny Cox, stud pitcher in the 80s with the St. Louis Cardinals. I tell you, Danny, it's a great night for St. Louis, great night for you, and what a reunion and all these acquaintances and friends you're seeing here tonight.
Absolutely. Friends and family and former teammates all showing up for really a humbling moment for me to be inducted into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. A pretty neat gig, for somebody who moved here 35 years ago and played baseball with the Cardinals, did a few other things, Cardinals alumni, doing some stuff with the Grizzlies, and get honored in this manner. Pretty cool for me.
It's pretty special. In the 80s you came up, and you're a part of World Series team, winning 18 games one season. One of the hosses of the St. Louis Cardinals pitching staff, and that was quite a staff, and you had quite a team in an era with Whitey Ball back then.
Absolutely. We had a hell of a team is what we had. We just came up a little short against the Royals, but that's part of the game. You play as long, as hard as you can, and when I came up in '83, I was coming up to a team from '82 that had a lot of World Series champions on it, and so I learned right away what it was like to play to win, the right way to do things. Ozzie Smith, Tommy Herr, Darryl Porter, all those guys were there and teaching you things. They've been there. They got a ring on their fingers. When they start talking to you about how to play the game of baseball, you learn, and definitely you get it from the best source of all of us was the Rat. Whitey was there, and he liked me. He always gave me the ball and put me in there and let me go, and without things like that, without giving an opportunity, you can't do what you want to do. But I had fun doing it.
One of the funniest, and I guess in Cardinal lore history, one of the greatest stories is about you. And it was, I think it was during the postseason, but something happened in Atlanta.
I'm still listening.
Something happened in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you got on a plane and you took off, went back there, took care of business, and came back. Can you share that story with us?
Probably not right now, yeah. It was a little bit more detailed, but it was a family thing, took care of it, and everybody knew what was going on. And I mean, that's what a man does, a son does, a father does, all those kind of things. It's just part of life.
So looking forward, what's going on in your career right now before we let you go? I mean, I know you're doing some stuff with the Grizzlies. You're having a great time here tonight. Moving forward, what's up with Danny Cox?
I look at a day-to-day basis. Anything, everything, or nothing. It just depends. Sunday, sometimes nothing if I'm watching a little bit of golf. During the week, I live on a lot of property, so getting stuff ready, do some hunting, some fishing, have a lot of guests, friends, family come out all the time. So mostly being outside and whatever the Cardinals do, have a lot of things to do. Cardinals Kids Clinics. Scott Terry's here, helps out with that, and Joe Pfeiffer, Larry State, all those guys really take care of the alumni and enjoy doing things within the community in St. Louis. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I'm here, is because they stay active with us alumni and get us involved in things all around the community. So, you know, hats off to them. But yeah, I'm a pretty happy and proud individual right now. Absolutely. Thank you.
Danny Cox going into the 2022 St. Louis Hall of Fame.
Hey, and let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues. When it comes to Hall of Fames and historians, Dr. Ed Wheatley's here, and Ed, the 2022 St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame induction it's upon us here, and there's some pretty special people going in tonight.
Well, it is. I mean, it's also been 2 years, you know, with the pandemic, that we're back to giving the inductions, and there are. It's across, you know, it's not only just baseball, it's football, baseball, it's the media. We've got Olympic fans from the past. It is just, it's a night of St. Louis sports, and that's what this is all about, the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.
You know, I look around and I remember these players, and I remember a lot of these people that are going into the Hall of Fame, but now they're like 30, 40 years later. You seem to know them all. Who's all here? Who's all here tonight?
Oh, we got Danny Cox, we got Otis Anderson, you know, we got Rick Hummel, Nikki Ziegelmeyer. I mean, they're all here, and like you said, sometimes you got to work at the front table, bring them in to register them. You got to double take from the pictures in the book to what they look like now. But you know, it's the things about the memories that we got to keep.
Absolutely, and you've got some excellent Hall of Fame projects coming up. Real quick, if you could share those with us.
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of things coming here. There's an induction for the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame across the river later this month, where we honor key people from the east side. So this is not just a St. Louis City Hall of Fame. This is a St. Louis Region Hall of Fame, and that's what we want to do.
Well, that's our show for today. We'd like to thank Solomon Alexander for joining us in studio, as well as both the St. Louis Sports Commission and Hall of Fame for making this show possible. We'd like to thank you for watching Inside Sports on STL TV. Experience St. Louis.